All right, so here we are at the end of June, and the scene that I've been working on with my team is done. So it's always been my hope with these production diaries that I'd be able to kind of share some insight into the creative process. And, you know, because new discoveries are always made when you're working, and it's fun to kind of talk about filmmaking and all that with an audience and invite you guys in. But since I'm pretty much done, I don't have much time to talk about stuff. Hopefully, as production gets going, if it gets going, then I'll be able to make more of these and we'll be able to focus and go a little bit more in depth into the process. But right now, I kind of just want to share a little bit about my animation process. So let's get started. So now that I have all the cutouts I need to animate, it's time to get going. So I've got a tripod, which I've mounted onto my workstation. It's locked into place and pointed face down at the paper that I'm going to shoot. And then I've got these two lights. They're pretty cheap. I just bought them at IKEA. That can be adjusted if I need to change it up, but they properly illuminate the shot, so everything's nicely lit. And then the camera is connected via a cable to my little computer where I'm running Dragon Frame stop motion to capture the animation. It's an amazing program and I highly recommend it. The basic idea is something you probably already know. You take a picture, you move your subject, you take a picture, and you repeat. Now sometimes it's really simple, like my example here, just moving a ship in one direction. But oftentimes it gets way trickier when you're trying to deal with walk cycles and multiple moving parts, or you're trying to sync up dialogue. Every single shot's going to be different. So you'll probably have noticed that I shoot my stuff often on a green piece of paper. I've embraced modern technology. By doing this, I'm able to animate a lot of different elements and then layer them on top of each other to make up the final image. I'll give you an example of how this helps me out. Let's say I want to have a shot of a character with the background out of focus.
Do you have any oven mitts?
The way I used to do this was by building a multi-plane glass system for animation. So my top layer would be the character I was animating, and underneath that, several inches down, would be another layer that's my background. And then my camera would manually adjust the focus so that, the top is in focus and the bottom isn't. And this was okay, and it worked a little bit, but there's a lot of drawbacks. One of them being the layer of glass is very reflective, and so you have to have your lighting just right. And if there's any dust particles or smudges, it becomes super obvious and distracting to the viewer. Also, if you want to pull the focus, you would have to manually do that by adjusting the lens itself. And if you touch these cameras, they move. And so even if the shot jumps around by a fraction of a centimeter, it's also distracting. So the new strategy that I employ is by shooting the foreground element separate and then keying out the background. That way I can, in post-production, alter the focus of the background and foreground to my desire. I can just keep trying and tweaking until it's just right. I can have the focus pull back and then pull in, and it's just effortless. It's so much easier and offers just a crazy range of flexibility for me. And so I'm able to achieve shots that I feel would be incredibly time consuming, and I think they look pretty good. I like it. So that's the new style that I do. It's kind of a blending of traditional animation with modern sensibilities. And it works, and it helps me do lots of animation really quickly, and can focus my efforts on the trickier shots. So as you can see with the example I showed, what I ended up doing was having a top layer of clouds go over the ship, and then I have the ship in the middle ground that I animated, and then the background. And I think it ended up looking pretty good. Every single shot's going to be a different challenge, and that's one of the fun things about animation, trying to figure out how to achieve a shot with the tools that you have. And my low budget setup and the new modern technologies that I use offer up flexibility to where I'm able to achieve a lot of really cool things with a very small amount of money, which is good because this is an indie production after all. But my production diaries have to come to a close because I've got to move on to other freelance gigs. But the scene is done. It's going to be posted soon, and I'd very much like it if you took a look and told me what you think, shared it around if you like it, because it would be so much fun to make this whole film come to life. And if so, I'll pick these diaries back up and we'll delve way more in depth into all the different elements of production, like compositing, which I wasn't able to get to. So yes, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you stick with me. And thank you very much for supporting indie animation. Be on the lookout for more. Bye.